like he'd take a headphone in and out.
Hey you dorks, this is Gunnar Hansen, Leatherface from the Texas Chainsaw Massacre, and you are listening to The Dorkening.
Hi, I'm Brian Johnson, and although you probably accidentally stumbled across it and have no idea why you're watching it, you are in fact watching The Dorkening.
Hello, this is Tom Kenny, voice actor, the voice of the Ice King on Adventure Time, and SpongeBob SquarePants. Ah, meow. Oh, Gary the Snail too. Hey, guess what you're filling your eye holes and ear holes with? The Dorkening! Oh, I love the Dorkening. Very popular in Ooh. And Bikini Bottom.
Hi, I'm Lou Ferrigno. You're watching The Dorkening. And you know what? You don't like me when I get angry, so don't get me angry. You better keep watching The Dorkening.
Hey guys, this is Felissa Rose, and you're watching The Dorkening.
Hey guys, it's Courtney Palm. We're shooting Death House, and you're watching The Dorkening.
This is Anthony Michael Hall, and you're watching The Dorkening. Stay tuned, my friend's going to show you what entertainment's all about, baby.
The Dorkening.
The Dorkening and all affiliated shows are not intended for anyone under the age of 18. The following may contain discussions or scenes that have adult situations, graphic violence, nudity, strong sexual content, and graphic language. This show is intended for mature audiences only. Viewer discretion is advised.
Rise and shine, my sinners. When Father Evil starts his day, he gets a little deadly. Deadly Grounds coffee has the richest, smoothest flavor you'll find anywhere. It's sinfully delicious. Once you go deadly, you never go back. Order yours at getdeadly.com. Coffee's so good, it's scary.
Happy Wednesday, everybody. You're watching The Dorkening. We're going to be talking about a lot of awesome stuff. And if you, you've been, Hippie Witch says, cheers, dorks. It's feeding time. It's drinking time for me. I'm drinking some Deadly Grounds coffee. And it's probably why my watch keeps on yelling at me, you have a sleep deficit. It's because I am awake all the time. So like I said, my name is Leo. I'm the monkey behind the keyboard here, and as always, powerful Brandon. How's it going, my friend?
So far so good. I hope you and everybody else is doing very well out there and staying cool, because it's a hot one out there.
Oh yeah, hell of a hot day. Steven, how's it going?
Good. How is everyone? Yes, it is hot, and hopefully everyone is staying cool.
Yeah, staying cool and reading Batman 89.
I mean, it doesn't get much cooler than that, right?
No.
I mean, unless Billy D. Williams was in it, because that guy's cooler than the other side of the pillow.
Yeah, I had to find a way to read it. Thank you very much. I didn't realize it came out today, but
I find my eyes is the best way.
Yeah, or you could have checked our shared folder, which I said it was in there.
No, you didn't. I didn't get the message.
Yes, I did. We'll agree to disagree.
Uh-oh.
But I managed to read it, so it was good.
Oh, really?
A lot more.
Yeah.
So.
A lot going on. I know we want to talk about that. Also, J.J. Abrams.
Abrams. I think you nailed it the first time. One and done.
Yeah. He has a new UFO documentary that's on Showtime. That's pretty kick-ass. And I know you guys got some other stuff. What If came out. Also, Suicide Squad. Where do you guys want to start?
Oh, let's see. Let's just go right into Batman 89 since it was already brought up first.
Okay.
So yeah, DC Comics decided to make a 6-issue miniseries event called Batman 89, which is written by Sam Hamm, the same guy who wrote the script for the 1989 Batman movie, directed by Tim Burton and starring Michael Keaton. This is the logical continuation past the first movie. I don't know that they include too much of what happened in the second movie. I think it's really just like what happened in 89 from that point on. And it's really cool to see how they're already starting to like build up the other characters around who Bruce Wayne and Batman are. Especially with Billy D. Williams, Harvey Dent from the first movie, being able to take center stage for the most part in this, and we really get to see like what his motivation and his ambitions are. So I mean, this is just the first issue, like I said, of 6, but I found myself by the end of it just like, I wish all 5 were out right now. Come on.
Yeah.
Brandon, I thought the same thing. I wanted all 6 right then and there, because when I was done, I was just like, give me more right now.
Well, it's they've been having some awesome short runs lately. The Batman Fortnite was pretty kick-ass. Did you catch this guy in the background with a bat face from looked like from Dark Knight Returns?
No. Wait. I caught the mutant.
The mutant. That's
with the mohawk.
No, with the blue bat face.
Go one panel down, Leo.
I'll see if I can zoom in.
Oh,
there we go.
The one with the Joker at the bottom.
I missed that. Yeah, right there, the son of the bat.
And you have the Beetlejuice girl.
Oh, snap!
That right there, the Joker guy.
Yeah,
that's like a throwback to the Prince music videos where Prince would dress up as Joker,
especially with the little mustache.
Yeah,
and you have the Egyptian from '66 Batman.
Oh, chance.
And Mars Attacks.
Oh, hey, look, lock, shock, and barrel, right there to the right of the Joker from Nightmare Before Christmas.
Oh yeah.
I only know those because my wife loves that stupid movie.
This is like a Where's Waldo of Easter eggs.
And who's this? Who the hell's that? That reminds
Mars
me.
Attacks.
Mars Attacks. There we go. Yeah.
Same with the Egyptian guy.
Yeah.
If you think about it.
Oh yeah, that could be Mars Attacks too. Yeah.
Oh yeah, that is.
Yeah.
It's definitely Mars Attacks. Ving Rhames.
Yeah. Some cool stuff.
Oh, that's I didn't delve as deep into that as I should have, apparently.
Yeah. Also, there was definitely some foreshadowing. Let me find the shot with Harvey. Where the hell is it? There was a shot where it looked like his face was split in two.
Oh,
I don't know if you caught it. I'll find it. But
right there, right there.
Oh yeah, yep, right there.
There you go.
That is creepy foreshadowing, but yeah.
Yeah, and why do we have an older Bruce Wayne?
I know. I not only was I like, oh, he's a little older, but also I was just like, why does he look so like? Why does he look like Lyle Lovett? I don't get it. Like, you not see that? Because like
I do.
That was my first thought. I'm like, why is his head so long? Jesus, he looks like he should be wearing one of those fucking old timey like ribbon bow tie things, playing at the fucking Grand Ole Opry. Jesus, Mary and Joseph.
Tom,
yeah.
Large Marge is in the panel as well.
Oh, really?
And Family Outcast says, cheers all. Yeah. So, I mean, yeah, like we were talking about, this picks up where, well, if it's an older Batman, it's not really picking up where it left off, but it's supposed to pick up.
Well, I guess picking up as though the events of just Batman 89 have taken place officially, like that's probably the best way to look at it, which I'm fine with. I'm okay with striking returns from the record.
Yeah, same here. But it was a great read. We should give credit to, let's see.
You passed
It's a writer by Sam Hamm, and artist and cover is Joe Quinos. Let's see. Leonardo Ito is the colorist. And Clayton Krause is the letterer. And Jerry Ordway and Steve Olaf did the variant covers.
Yes, indeed.
Yeah, there's a variant cover. I hope Sarge has set it aside for me, where it looks like the VHS.
Oh, that's cool, man. I
Yeah.
did not see that. I do so much stuff digital, so
Yeah, same here. And also the preview, Batman World. Did you watch? Not watch this, but I mean, check out this ad.
I mean, I looked at it for sure, but I don't know.
Well, it caught me because that art is Lee Bermejo, which I absolutely love his art.
So hold on, wait a minute. I mean, so is this going to be Bruce Wayne as Batman in different cultures, or is this going to be like representations of Batman in each different culture? Like,
no idea yet.
Maybe it's different iterations of Batman in different parts of the world.
Maybe that's a good point.
Yeah.
But also, finally we get Batman stories from all over the world, because that's a thing. It's so hard to get excited about like Batman shit like this, for me at any rate. Like, don't get me wrong, if it was like an important story arc, it'd be one thing, but like it's hard for me to get all geared up of like, oh, the Dark Knight's war on crime goes global. Didn't I just see them do a fucking mega series all about how like Batman was like the linchpin of the fucking multiverse for some goddamn reason? I'm pretty sure that like a few stories in a couple of different countries is small goddamn potatoes. Just saying.
So that comes out September this year, but it just struck me because I love his art, and it's written by Brian Azzarello.
Oh, I like Brian Azzarello.
Yeah, he's been doing a lot of work with Lee Bermejo. Which, I mean, obviously most famous is the Bat Dong story.
Oh, damned.
Yeah. Yeah. So, I mean, definitely urge you. We're not going to go through the whole thing, but definitely urge you to go out there and support your local comic book shop or get it digitally as well. I have multiple copies set aside for me in my pull list. So I wanted to get one of each variant cover.
Good idea. I didn't care that much.
Well, I was I was so busy today with recording and editing that I didn't have time to go to the local comic book shop to grab it. But thank God Leo mentioned it before we recorded, so I had time to read it digitally. So thank you, Leo.
You're welcome.
But
You're welcome.
hopefully I'll be able to grab it if it hasn't been scooped up everywhere tomorrow.
I'm so confused by what I'm seeing right there. I'm sorry. Like,
Lock
I'm a big Lock and Key fan, but I'm seeing Sandman Universe, Lock and Key, DCIDW. It's just my brain isn't functioning to its best level right now. Like, there's a lot going on there.
Forget that. I'm looking at the next page, Superman 78. So I guess Batman 89 isn't good enough, so they're going Superman 78.
Well, I mean, I wouldn't phrase it as such. I wouldn't say, "Oh, Batman 89 isn't good enough." They were doing Batman 89 and Superman 78 as, like, tandem series. Like, Superman 78 is coming out either next week. Yeah, next week. So they're just spaced out a week apart from one another. So
yeah,
I think it's pretty cool. I think 6 issues, the same thing.
Yeah.
Which this is the first. This will be the first actual, like, movie. Like Superman the movie adaptation in comic book form. I mean, they did like one-offs of like Superman 4 and shit like that, but
I thought there was. I could be wrong.
Not for Superman 78.
No, really?
No, yeah, there was no tie-in comic book for that. Surprisingly,
I do have the Batman 89 graphic novel.
Yeah, the prestige format.
Yeah,
where it's like him standing on the ledge and it's all like painted. Yeah, I remember it well.
All the Batman advertising back then. So yeah,
Batmania. What do you expect? Didn't throw a stone without hitting at somebody that's like, I fucking love Batman. Yeah, I bet you do, asshole. Fucking 3 weeks ago, you were bitching about Mr. Mom playing him. Remember?
So besides Batman 89, I'm sure you guys watched Suicide Squad.
Of course.
Did that come out?
Oh, you haven't heard?
What? I heard they've already greenlit the third one as Suicide Squad. It was incredible.
Yeah. My so I waited to watch it with my wife, and basically she was like, "Why did you wait? I didn't need to see this."
Why did you think I cared? That's really what you
pretty much.
What about me in the tenure of our relationship said to you, "Oh, she's really gonna want to see this. I should hold up."
See, I told me and my girlfriend were gonna watch it together because I told her who the lineup was, and she's a big Firefly fan. I told her Nathan Fillion was in, and she's like, "No, you watch it. Go ahead." So I'm glad. Because after, me and my co-host had like a betting pool of how long Nathan Fillion and everyone else would have lasted. And, sorry, I don't know if we're going spoilers or not. Once someone lasted a certain amount of time, I'm sure my girlfriend wouldn't have been, well, all right. Once Nathan Fillion lasted like 10 minutes, then I would think I won the pool. So,
yeah. Okay, so he was playing TDK, which, if you haven't seen it, is the detachable kid. And apparently his character, I read, was developed just for the movie. It's not a DC character. Well, it's a DC character now. It's just it wasn't.
Yeah. Now he is. You bet your ass. Copyright, trademark, patent pending. Hands off, asshole.
He detaches his arms, and was he doing like the Three Stooges slap?
Yes, yeah, like Evil Dead style.
Well, it was certainly an enjoyable movie.
It was.
Sure.
It was.
I actually saw it in the theater. I bit the bullet and decided that the first movie I was going to pay to see, since all this pandemic nastiness, was going to be this one, because the other movie I saw for free, and it was terrible. It was Spiral Gang, and that movie sucks.
Oh yeah.
Well,
I would go so far as to say that movie defies physics because it both sucks and blows at the same exact time.
I agree with you. I wasn't comfortable seeing it in the theater yet. I agree with you on Spiral, but I wasn't comfortable seeing Suicide Squad in the theater yet. I saw it on HBO Max, but I would like to have seen it in a theater with a crowd. I want to ask you, how was the crowd? Was there a crowd? Was it just you?
There was more people there than I anticipated previously, that's for sure. But I mean, I also mitigated my circumstances as best I could by buying all 3 seats in the section that my wife and I were sitting in. So
nice.
that way nobody was going to come near us. But also like not really having snacks or anything there, just sitting down watching the movie.
Yeah.
I was surprised. This really threw me for a loop just because the way that audiences have been trained for several years now, regardless of who it is that's making the movie, i.e. DC or Marvel, the number of people that just got up to leave once the credits started, I was just like, what are you, fucking new? Like, is this your first time coming to one of these things? Do you not have friends they didn't tell you about? All right, vaya con Dios and all that stuff. You guys go on ahead. I'm gonna find out what the cool secret biz at the end of this thing is. It's fine. You go on ahead. This is for the cool kids.
Well, not only that, there was 2 after credit scenes.
Indeed. And did either of them matter? One of them certainly.
I just have to say, watching Weasel run away, Sean Gunn must have had so much fun with that.
Of course. I mean,
Yeah.
Also, what's really cool is I caught this when I saw it, and it definitely helped to see it on the big screen for this. Did you see Sean Gunn in the movie otherwise, like not being the mocap for Weasel?
Oh, he struck right out.
Do you know who he was?
Calendar Man.
Yes.
Ah.
Julian Day. He had the whole tattoo going around January, February, March, April. I was like, oh my God. What a weird way to make him a throwaway character.
What were you going to say, Steven?
I don't know if you guys noticed Lloyd Kaufman as a cameo.
Yeah, he was in the bar there. Also, the woman who Mantis.
Palm Clementif.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I saw her right away. I was like, well, okay, this is Palm Clementif. Like, that wasn't like very. It wasn't as far as I was concerned. That wasn't like very well hidden. like
no.
Oh, hey, look, a lady that I easily recognized from another movie. Boom.
So for everybody watching, put in the chat, let us know what you thought about it. And it was released yesterday. Friday. Not the movie, but they announced that Harley Quinn, the actress, actually did that scene with the key. She actually did unlock herself.
Margot Robbie.
Yeah,
that's cool, man. I'm not surprised.
And apparently she did it in like the first take.
It's
boing.
It's the way those things usually go. It's like Kurt Russell at the 50, the full court, throwing the basketball on Escape from LA. It's like, all right, I'm impressed that he did that, like fucking first take, one take. But at the same time, it's like, bro, if you hadn't gotten that, how many fucking takes would it have taken? Like, come on, like, how much luck was involved? Let's be honest.
I mean, I didn't need to read that piece of news about Margot Robbie doing that stunt herself. When I saw it, I knew she did it herself. I mean, I had a feeling she would have done it herself. So,
my wife thought it was a little. She's like, really, yes. She thought that was a little over the top, but she, it's definitely wasn't her cup of tea, but a lot of it was over the top.
My wife was right there next to me, and we both enjoyed the hell out of it. So that worked out well for my evening for sure. I absolutely love some of the choices that James. Oh, by the way, real quick, if we're talking about cameos, also, Toxic Avenger appears in the Suicide Squad as well.
Really?
The movie, The Toxic Avenger, appears in the Suicide Squad. As they're walking through Bellrave, and they're doing the whole, like, Besser is what he does, but he does the same thing I do. And as they're walking through, like, one of the more recreational areas, there's a TV on the wall, and you just get, like, 2 quick clips of it as you're going by. And it's the scene that shows the toxic waste in the barrel in the back of the truck that Melvin is going to fall into as he jumps out of the window in the health club.
Oh, nice.
Yeah.
Speaking of locations, and this will put Batman, our conversation of Batman '89 and this together. The whole location of where this was set, Corto Maltese, if you notice, that was a throwback to Batman '89.
Well, it was also Dark Knight Returns as well. It's appeared multiple times in the DC universe.
Yes, many times. I actually don't even think this is the first like Suicide Squad mission that's taken place at Corto Maltese. I believe.
See, this is from someone who's new to the comics, so
no, we're not busting on you about it.
Yeah, we're not trying to yuck your yum, bro. We're letting you know we're imparting some info.
Yeah, movie wise, yeah, it's definitely a throwback to Batman '89.
Oh yeah, that was the first thing I thought of when I found out it was in Corto Maltese. I was like, oh, I wonder if we'll see Vicky Vale roaming around trying to get more photos. You only so many times you can get on cover of fucking Time magazine, right? Because they didn't bring that up enough in fucking Batman '89, right? Like every single person that met her, like, oh, I saw your photos in Time.
See, I thought that was going to be like a post-credit scene, and that was going to predate Suicide Squad and predate it in like the DC film timeline, because if she was taking photos of the whole disaster in Corto Maltese with Starro and all that stuff, that would have gotten her the Time Picture of the Year. That was my theory.
Yeah, but I feel like if she was taking photos after like some huge fucking purple starfish took over a city and ended up on Time magazine's cover for that, in Batman, that may have been referenced more than casually. Just, like not just, oh, hey, good stuff you did in Corto Maltese. Like, that's pretty blasé about a giant fucking alien that tried to take over an entire island. Like, I get ice water going through the veins of Bruce Wayne, but come on, dude, that's pulseless.
Tom Morris, I don't get your joke. Maybe somebody can explain it to me. Saying John Cena was supposed to be in it.
Are you serious? You don't get the joke?
In WWE, his catchphrase is "You can't see me."
Oh, okay.
Yeah. So it's a long-running joke.
That's where you got me. I don't watch wrestling, so it's.
I don't either.
No.
I just pay attention to fucking pop culture.
Yeah.
Brandon said to the guy who runs a fucking 40+ show dork network.
Yeah, but there's a lot of stuff that.
No, that's cool, man. You know a lot more about video games and fucking action figures than I do. So we all okay. Well, I mean,
maybe video games, but
video games. Okay, we'll stick with video games. Let's stick on core competencies, I guess. Yeah, but everybody got gaps,
Exactly.
You guys could sit there and talk about video games till the fucking cows come home. Steve's probably fucking forgotten more about video games than I'll ever learn.
No.
All right. All right, guys. Sure. If you say so. I'm on to you.
So it definitely had an all-star cast. I was shocked that certain people died.
Yeah.
And it definitely had some certain things that definitely pulled at the heartstrings. But definitely Pete Davidson's character being, a turncoat, I thought was pretty fucked up. And just his face being blasted off was just like, that set the tone of the movie, like right there. Well,
if you hate him on SNL and you see his face blasted off, you're like, yes,
See, I like him on SNL.
You guys watch SNL? Cool. I haven't done that in a dog's age.
Yeah, it comes and goes.
Is it still on Saturdays?
As far as we know, unless they change the weeks.
Oh, Did I tell you? No, it was probably not you.
Okay.
Okay, it's a Netflix movie you need to watch. Netflix, Futile and Stupid Gesture. Have you seen that?
So it sounds familiar.
Oh my God, it is
I
so
think
good.
I think I have it on my list.
So it came out in 2018, but I just heard about it because of the guy who played Lex in Smallville.
Oh, Michael Rosenbaum.
Michael Rosenbaum does a awesome podcast, Inside
of You.
Yeah. And he was interviewing Joel McHale, and he was talking about how he played Chevy Chase in a movie.
Yes. Okay, that's what it is. Yes, absolutely. It's oh my God, it's Gleason.
Doug Kenny.
No. But in the movie, it's Domhnall Gleeson and Will Forte.
Will Forte, Douglas Kenny, Domhnall Gleeson, David Wayne.
Yep.
Martin Mull. So Martin Mull plays an older Douglas Kenny, and basically the story of how National Lampoon became to be, and how fucked up it was, and goes over making of Caddyshack, National Lampoon's Vacation, Animal House. Yeah. But then how, like, at one time somebody went to their office, Doug Kenny and his partner went to the partner and said, why don't you guys make a TV show? And he's like, no, we're too busy for that. So Lorne Michaels hired his entire cast from National Lampoons to start Saturday Night Live.
So he poached the hell out of them.
It could have been National Lampoons instead of Saturday Night Live.
Yeah, maybe.
It was the same exact people, same exact cast. It was crazy.
No, I think it's good that we got it the way we did.
Yeah.
Lorne
Michaels is a genius,
Yeah, well, he's certainly known how to spot talent and known when to foster it. But also if he hadn't done it and it had been National Lampoon, then we probably wouldn't have gotten something like Ghostbusters.
Yeah, that's true.
You would have had those guys and gals who were involved with that probably pulled to different projects or have their focus be on different things that weren't quite as interesting as that could have been for them.
Yeah.
So, it's one of those things like, I'll stick with the devil I know, please and thank you.
Well, we probably would have gotten Ghostbusters, but it would have been more of a focus of the Keymaster and the Gatekeeper.
Yeah, probably. A lot more Canadian accents in that one for sure.
Yeah, well, a lot more, sexualized Ghostbusters, probably. Yeah.
You mentioned that you just saw something on Netflix, Leo. I just saw something recently on HBO Max that you guys might like, called it's a documentary called Woodstock '99: Peace, Music, and Rage.
Okay, I didn't see it, but I saw it listed.
I have it on my list.
It's really, really good. It's basically they you guys probably heard stories about it back then, but I was a little young to see any news stories about it. But it's basically how they started, what happened, and the chaos that ensued. And they're interviewing people from that attended, and you have the footage from it, and it's just things you've never seen.
Oh, this is Woodstock '99.
Yes.
Yes. Oh. Yes, the total commercial clusterfuck that was.
Yeah.
What a fucking nightmare. Yeah, but man, we're gonna celebrate Woodstock. The 3 P's of the '60s. Peace, pod, and sex. And we're just gonna get together, have a good time, listen to some good music, and just charge people $15 per bottle of water. Have inadequate bathroom facilities, and if it rains, it's no big deal because we're gonna set up at the bottom of a fucking hill. So free mudslide / shower for everybody. It's win-win. The trash takes itself out, gang.
But yeah, if you guys or anyone listening wants to see it, it's on HBO Max, called Woodstock '99: Peace, Music, and Rage.
Okay. Yeah, I'll give it a look. See.
I started watching Ted Lasso. That's yeah, and thank you very much for that, Leo, because
you're welcome.
Hooked. My wife and I last night, we're buzzing through the first season now, and I didn't realize at first that it was created by Jason Sudeikis alongside Bill Lawrence. I'm a big fan of Bill Lawrence. Scrubs is one of my all-time favorite television shows, except for season 9. We don't talk about season 9. Season 9 is not really a thing. I was wholly impressed by the amount of heart in this story so far. And I watched the first episode and I was like, okay, I gotta tell Dara about this. Hey, watch this first episode, see what you think, because whatever decision you make after that, I'm watching the fucking show. And she checked it out and she agreed it was really good. And we were at a real impasse last night because she was like, I really want to keep watching more. I was like, yeah, me too. And she was like, but I guess we can watch Superman and Lois.
Oh, the new episode came out.
Yes, the new episode of Superman and Lois came out.
Okay.
It's the penultimate episode for the season. Next week is the season finale.
Oh, okay, good to know. I'll have to add that to my list to watch as well.
They also premiered, had the second season / CW premiere of Stargirl last night.
Okay. I
did not get a chance to see it. I do have it recorded. That one lost out to Ted Lasso. we made a very conscious decision. We're like, we'll watch that on Thursday. But yeah, so there's a couple other things there. So Superman and Stargirl on the CW, if you have any desire to check those out. I will say Stargirl, when it was on DC Universe, was a very, very good show. So I'm hoping that trend continues now that they've shifted to the CW.
Yeah.
I just hope the budgetary constraints that you usually see on shows on that network don't hinder it too much. It hasn't hurt Superman and Lois because they've clearly been pouring a lot into that, and it shows. It doesn't look like any other stuff that they've put out on the CW. But I can't speak for what this show is because they may not see it as being quite the boon that a Superman show would be.
Yeah. I still need to watch the first season.
Watch it, dude. I think you'll like it.
Yeah, I watched a couple episodes, but just same with Doom Patrol. I need to get back into that.
That's a good one too, man.
Yeah.
The pandemic screwed that one too, man. Like to cut it short, they were like one episode. They had one more episode that was going to be the season finale, and they're like, tune in next week, kids. Same bad time, same bad station, please.
I know we got off a little off topic, but just to bring it back to Suicide Squad, then we'll move on to something else. Let's talk about our favorite parts of Suicide Squad. Was there anything that stuck out? Anything that I know the movie was absolutely phenomenal, and it had a lot of good points and had some bad points, but not too many. For me, I absolutely loved King Shark, but the Starro's last words, oh my God, that just pulled at your heartstrings, just like.
Yeah, that was rough. I was happy just floating among the stars. Like, well, you should have just said something, dickhead. Maybe figure out how to communicate other than, destroying somebody's entire fucking being, which I will say, like, I understand, if you're trying to go like a bit gritty / dark sci-fi realistic with it, like, okay, yeah, Starro's extensions like attach itself to a person and that person is fucking dunzo,
Yeah.
That just, it flies in the face of like every other comic every comic book that Starro showed up and tried to like take over any place. Like it didn't kill those people. It didn't just like turn them into like, completely hollow drones. Like they were still people with thoughts and whatnot. It was just they're being controlled by Starro. Their consciousnesses were part of its collective. And the fact that they in this movie was like, oh yeah, no, you're done, you're dead. once you get one of those things in, there's nothing left. Like, nah, it drills into your fucking head and blah 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 blah. And I'm like, oh man, that really sucks. Like, that's not fun. Like, Starro is definitely the type of being you never want to see again. Like,
Yeah.
you know, Starro the Conqueror is always kind of like one of those like, Starro again. Well, which, I mean, how do you? That's the one thing I fucking don't like about any of these comic book movies, any of them, Marvel, DC, whatever, is that how the fuck is anybody supposed to build up any kind of rogues gallery or have even a fucking arch nemesis if they're constantly just laying waste to everyone that comes up against them? Like, that goes all the way back to like fucking Batman 89. Like, why would you kill the Joker at the end of the movie?
Yeah.
It's insane. And not like funny, haha, crazy smiling fish Joker insane. It's just like laughing at the bank insane, burning your own fucking house down despite a movie studio. Like, ha ha ha, take that, assholes. You're just hurting yourself. You can't use that character anymore. Oh yeah, well, shit. I just don't. I don't get it. Like, Batman Returns, kill the Penguin. Yeah. It's I don't know, man. They've done it in like so many of these different movies. I mean, we thought for the longest time we weren't going to see Red Skull again. I mean, who else in the Marvel movies? Did they kill Malekith? Is he dead? Fucking Guy Pearce's quote Mandarin. He died, right?
Did he?
Yes.
Yeah. I'm just saying, Crossbones dead. I'm just saying, stop killing every fucking villain, man. Like, let them have a goddamn nemesis. You can't have round 2 if you fucking waste them after round 1.
Well, the post-credit scene of Suicide Squad made it seem like they were going to have a nemesis, but they're having a TV show on the guy. So
yeah,
I don't think that's going to set up anything. So my words are kind of a moot point. So,
well, yeah, they'll just give him, there'll be some other big baddie, and, Amanda Waller's still going to be like the main evil
although
person.
I did read somewhere, sorry to cut you off, Leo. I did read somewhere that in the next one, they wanted Ratcatcher 2 to be a supervillain.
No. They built her up too much.
She was too sweet a kid to.
I know. I can't see that.
No. From what I read, they were actually going to kill her off.
I'm glad.
I would have turned the fucking movie off. I mean, she was too likable.
Well, no, that's why James Gunn said I can't kill her off. She's I like her too much. Just
good. I mean, I did think it was cool that the blonde woman working back at Bel Rev with oh my god, the fucking what's his face there, Steve Agee.
Steve Agee and Jennifer Holland, I believe.
Yeah, wearing all the fucking makeup and dark hair. Like we were watching the movie in the theater, and I stopped and I listened to his voice. I was just like, I looked at my wife, and, is that Steve Agee? She's like, I think it is. And I'm like, if she fucking thinks it is, it's gotta be. I don't even need to check IMDb now. But yeah, like that was impressive. I thought that was really cool. And the fact that he was also the mocap for King Shark in the movie.
Yeah.
But yeah, the woman, Jennifer Holland, you said her name was?
I think that was her name. The blonde woman.
Yeah, she was in Brightburn.
Yeah.
As well. She was the teacher. Yeah, so like, James Gunn having produced that because his brothers like wrote it and what have you. And if you guys haven't seen Brightburn, do it or fucking not. It's like a great idea that is, as far as I'm concerned, it's a great idea that is just poorly executed.
Yeah.
Like there's some cool looking stuff in it, don't get me wrong. But overall, like from beginning to end, like there's a lot of shit that I have fucking problems with. I mean, just like logically, I mean, this is not like a geek, like, I don't like it when they do Superman's character. Nope, not at all. Like, you can tell that story as much as you want. Just make it good. Like, I don't understand why the kid signs his initials like that, BB or whatever, and that's his thing. But only his mom ever sees it. It's not like a widely known thing. Yet somehow the sheriff goes on a window, sees the symbol, and he's like, I'm going to talk to that Brandon kid. It's like, why?
It's like a cross between The Omen and Superman. That's what I got from it.
Yeah, except nowhere near as fucking good as either one of those movies by Dick Donner.
Exactly.
Nowhere near. Like, anyway, sorry. That's I digress. James Gunn, he makes movies. That's what that came from. But it was really cool to see him utilizing people that he has worked with in some capacity in the past in this project. I love it when filmmakers do that. They carry people over because they really enjoy working with them. I mean, obviously it's a hallmark of James Gunn stuff that we're going to see Lloyd Kaufman at some point. And I love that he brings Michael Rooker along for the ride constantly as well.
Yeah. It was sad to see him go, but it's just,
that's cool though. I mean,
even though Michael Rooker was only in it for like what 15 minutes, and he was like top billing at Terrificon, and people get to ask him, "How long are you going to be in the Suicide Squad?" And he's like, "Oh, I'm in there for quite a bit,
as long as it takes."
Yeah,
as long as it takes.
But it definitely served a definitely key point in the movie, showing off that, she's serious, Amanda Waller. You go off task, she's gonna blow your head up.
Yeah. It was effective. I mean, that's one of the things that I'd actually said was missing from the 2016 movie was it broke one of the cardinal rules of filmmaking as far as I'm concerned. Like, there are good movies that do this.
Let me guess. Is it to be good?
No, that's like an unspoken rule. Everyone should fucking come in with that understanding. There's no ifs, ands, or buts about that. No, it's you're in a visual medium, so ideally, as much as possible, you want to show it and not tell it.
Yeah.
And yeah, like the first movie, it told us a lot of things. Like, it said a lot of stuff. It didn't really show us much of anything. And I will say, like, every movie like that with some kind of ensemble, like, there's going to be an info dump, an exposition. It's just all about how cleverly or uncleverly that is dealt with. And I think with how James Gunn knows how to deal with a large group of characters that interact the way that these kind of rough and tumble folk do, he found a very organic way to do that. But there are plenty of movies that are good that break that rule too. Like Unbreakable by M. Night Shyamalan, I think is an absolutely astounding movie, but it completely shits the bed for me in the last fucking, 2 minutes, because after everything you've seen building up to this point, it just goes like words across the screen. David Dunn made an anonymous call to the police, and Elijah Price is now serving in an institution for the criminally insane. I'm like, what is this? A fucking episode of Law and Order? This is bullshit. This fucking Dragnet. The names have been changed to protect the innocent. Get the fuck out of here. Show me the fucking cops showing up to arrest that fucking wheelchair bound dude. Get the fuck out of here. It was, but I'm just saying, like, great movie, but they broke that rule too. So you can see how, like, even great stories can be really hurt by something like that. And with this, man, it was so good to just see like the story and character build from the interactions. And you got like those snippets of backstory, but it was done in such a way where, like, we saw everybody taking bets on who was going to be like the first one to bite it, and you get little shit like that. It was cool. It was a much cooler way to go about it. You didn't feel like you were getting pulled out of anything. Like, hey, learn this, remember it. Okay, go back to the story, kids.
Well, also the way James Gunn makes movies, it definitely had a comic book feel to it, like the way the words magically appear, within the scene, or that when Harley is doing her fight, and you have all the like cartoon birds and stuff like that around, and the blood turn into like petals, and it's just I thought it was brilliant. Just absolute awesomeness.
Yeah, how to make your movie feel like it's a comic book without doing what Ang Lee did in Hulk. Great
Pretty
job.
much.
Yeah, don't make literal fucking comic book panels on the screen. Just as a starting point. There you go. At no point should any person in your movie look pixelated like they're in a 4-color world. Never.
Really? No?
Yep. Just fucking write that shit down, Leo.
Any last words on Suicide Squad? You guys, Steven, absolutely. I'm assuming you loved it.
Yeah.
Okay.
Despite all the shit I've given DC the past couple months, I enjoyed it. Don't worry about that. I've enjoyed Suicide Squad, and yeah, of all the shit I've given DC the past couple months, I really enjoyed it.
It's good to hear that. It's good to hear that, Steven. You're turning the tide.
Don't fucking change my name because I started rocking the boat.
Jesus Christ. Don't bring it up. Don't remind him of it.
Yeah.
Every time he forgets that he ever did it, you're like, and don't change my name. And Leo's like, that's right. I changed his name before. I should do it again. Don't do it, Leo.
No, I'll be nice. I'll be nice. What about you, Brandon?
I found it to be thoroughly enjoyable. I think making something like the Suicide Squad an R-rated movie is the right move, and to get somebody who has the sensibilities that James Gunn does have to do it was beautifully timed on Warner Brothers' part. They swooped in and got him, and that was the right move. I'm curious to see how this falls with the rest of their plans moving forward. Just what the events of this may mean, because when you think about it on the face of things, Starro showing up in a city like that, on an island like that, and all of a sudden trying to take it over, that's like Superman status shit. Like, you would think he would show up to deal with that. So just kind of curious how that kind of is balanced out moving forward. But lastly, this makes me absolutely 100% not give a flying fuck about anything that happened in the 2016 movie.
Yes.
100%. And for everyone out there who is saying release the Ayer cut, having been emboldened by release the Snyder cut and all the toxicity that is flying around release the Snyderverse, shut the fuck up, okay? I understand that you really, really want to see the Ayer cut, and you may get that, but at this point, it's going to be more akin to the Donner cut. You will wait until 2043, and that is when you will get a fucking, I don't even know what, Blu-rays won't be a thing. You'll get the new head chip that fucking has the Ayer cut in it, and that's great, but like, for real, getting it is not going to change anything. The Snyder cut, as comparatively better as it was, it's not going to change anything that's going forward. Like, they've already pivoted from those points, guys and gals. Like, the Suicide Squad, if you didn't like it because you didn't like it, that's legitimate. 100%. You have every right to look at a thing and go, that just wasn't for me. Like, I tried it. I gave it an honest shot, and I didn't dig on it that much. Who can fault you for that? But if you're hating something just because it's not the thing that you want it to be, that's fucking immature. That's puerile and juvenile and just fucking childish. Just like, knock it the fuck off. Stop review bombing shit and let people who enjoy stuff go ahead and enjoy it. Like, how the fuck does it take away from you when somebody else enjoys it? Like, how miserable do you have to be? Like, Ebenezer Scrooge wasn't even that fucking miserable. Like, he went after the people that owed him money. He didn't just fuck with people that walked by him on the street for no reason. Like, he wouldn't see people that were like, oh, what's this? You have people that love you and your family? Fuck you and everyone who looks like you. No, he wouldn't do that. But that's what all you dickheads are doing. Knock the fuck off. That's all I got.
Preach it, brother. Preach it.
So take pretty much your grassroots campaign of Aircut and Snyder Cut and all that stuff, and save it for your next hippie Burning Man campaign festival.
By the way, by 2043, I predict it's going to be a melding of retro and high tech. We're going to have the 24K Betamax tapes.
The perfect marriage of style and function. You too can now own your very own Laserdisc player for the low price of $29.99.99. Wait, how many 99s did he just fucking say?
Is it live or is it Memorex?
Max Hell.
Before your time, Steven, before your time.
Yeah, like holy shit, like we really just dated ourselves. Like
actually, I've heard of Laserdisc. I've seen Laserdisc when I helped Leo move out of his house, but I've actually seen a real Laserdisc.
I'm sorry, I just love that your frame of reference for it is
And I've
Leo.
seen an actual Laserdisc player at the Third Circle of Hell. I mean, the donation center I work at. But yeah, I've seen them before, but I haven't seen a Betamax tape before. I haven't, but I've heard of VHS. So
well, Memorex was it was VHS tapes they made, right?
Yep.
And their ad campaign, is it live or is it Memorex? You know,
because the quality of their tape was so good that you couldn't tell that it had been previously recorded. Which, by the way, bullshit.
Yeah.
I don't think so. But yeah, it's Betamax actually like was okay. Here's a comparable one for you, Steve. You remember when HD DVD and Blu-ray were both hitting market at the same time?
Yeah.
Now, you'll recall HD DVD was actually the superior of the two, but Blu-ray was adopted by Sony. They decided to start putting it in a lot of their entertainment software, such as PlayStations. Yep. And that's what dictated everybody else moving towards Blu-ray. The Xbox was the outlier. They're like, we're not going to put anything in our system. We'll sell you the hard drive. Like we'll sell you the drive separate. And so they did. They sold HD DVD drives separately to attach to Xbox. And then when they saw that the market was moving towards Blu-ray, they were like, never mind, here's the Blu-ray ones. And they stopped making the HD DVD. But I'll give them credit because they were able to push out a product. And then after the fact, they're like, oh, yeah, we have a thing you can just plug in and watch. Not a problem. And it actually didn't end up crapping out their systems the way that PlayStation did the first fucking 7 to 9 months it was out.
Here's another alternative. Back in the 90s, there was a form of media. It was a oversized floppy disk called a zip drive. And you're looking over because you have one, Steven?
No, my co-host was excited about that. So
okay, so yeah, I worked at a computer store, and at the time there was two competing units. There was Zip Drive, and then there was SideQuest. SideQuest had a held more space, was faster than the Zip Drive, but what pushed it over is a stupid commercial with Refrigerator Perry walking out of a tractor trailer holding a zip disk. And then zip disk was it from then on.
Yep.
Yeah.
It was weird, man. It showed up everywhere too. There's just all kinds of local news stories on it and what have you. The wave of the future. This is how you'll be storing information forever. Is it news? Is it? Yeah. All right, sure. I was just look at this phonograph and record. Preston Wax. Yeah, music's never gonna get better than this.
Then it was
I'm sure you guys have probably heard of this one, but the Third Circle Hell, the donation center I work in, there's a guy that donated these picture discs, but it was like a record, and it's hard to explain. It was like a record, but it was like a picture disc you put in a player. I don't know how to explain it.
Yeah, it sounds like it was for a carousel projector.
Maybe.
Yeah. Did it almost look like a giant ViewMaster disc?
Like a big giant floppy disk, yes.
Yeah, it was for a carousel projector, so it probably wasn't like personal photos or anything. It was just like one of those things where you throw up on the wall, and I mean, it was probably that's like 70s tech, 70s going into 80s. It's like, oh look, we just put still pictures up on the wall. It's like we don't even have to fucking go to Miami. The photos right there. I love spending my Decembers in Minnesota.
I know we are running on time, but we also wanted to bring up what if.
Yeah, what if we weren't running out of time?
Oh my. Oh my.
What if we weren't running over time?
What if? Well, if ifs and buts and candy nuts and anyway, so what if? Yeah, it was interesting. I enjoyed the art style quite a bit. I had made mention of it before, how I found it to be vaguely reminiscent of Fleischer style.
Yeah.
The rotoscope from the 40s cartoons that Max Fleischer did Superman back in the 40s, and just excellent cartoons, just stylistically. But I will say, I found the story to be a little lackluster. There was just something missing about it. I can't put my finger on it. It's not that I had an issue with anyone's performance or anything like that. It seemed like they were getting at something, and I think that might be hurting them. If they're trying to make this more anthological, then they need to stay away from making it feel like it's going to be episodic, because the narrator should serve the audience as a guide through like a world for a short time. And this makes it seem like, okay, so we saw this for a reason, and what's the next thing we see will be for a reason. That's the kind of like almost self-importance I feel behind this. And I don't think it's actually like part of the story. I don't think that they're trying to like connect everything with what if. They're just trying to illustrate, the multiverse.
I was wondering if they were going to connect stuff, because that we were pondering that when we watched it today. But it seems like it's going to be its own separate things. Multiverse is breaking off.
But that's what I'm saying. See, like you sat there and thought about like, oh, they're going to connect it all. I'm like, and that shouldn't be a question. I don't think you like any of us should be watching through to the end of the first episode of this series and be like, so is this like going to connect, or is it separate? Like, it should be very clear. Each issue of like the What If series that they're basing the concept off of, each one of them is standalone, and that's baked into the concept altogether. So for them to leave it sort of vague with this, I don't dig on that, which sucks, because I mean, granted, it's only the first episode. It could be finding its footing and all that. Like, I'm willing to give it the benefit of the doubt. I try not to base anything on just the first episode of a thing, because those are normally the worst ones. A lot of kinks to work out. The process changes down the way, and we know that this was a process for this entire season, right up until like the word go. So for me, I love the idea. I like Jeffrey Wright as Uatu.
Yeah.
And I'm curious to see what other stories they're going to be. My wife, she sat next to me, and she knows how into what ifs and Elseworlds and alternate reality stories I am. And she actually said like, oh, are they going to be connecting this, or, is there going to be any kind of like big thing from this? Is it going to follow the comic books? And I was like, oh, well, first of all, no, I don't think that they're going to be connecting it. That to me, like, just because what I know about what ifs in general. But I also said, in regards to the comics, God, no, they're going to have to stick to only movie stuff, because if they start pulling shit from the comic books, if it doesn't relate to anything that's been seen in the movies and some of these television series at this point, then people are like, this is fucking stupid, and then just shut it off, because you can't ask a question of what if people don't know what's different about one situation to the next.
Yeah, exactly. Yep.
I think I agree with you on everything, but with the episodes being, the early episodes, they have to tweak, to get their feet wet. This one, they could have been in the middle. You know what I'm saying? But my question for you is, I didn't catch, how many episodes in this full season are there? Like, is there 12 episodes, 13 episodes?
I believe it's 8, but it was initially 9.
Okay.
And the ninth one, I shouldn't, not that it was going to be number 9. I'm just saying the ninth episode, the one that was removed. It was supposed to be like a Black Widow Ultron thing, supposedly. Now here's the deal. Like, it has nothing to do with the Disney Scarlett Johansson kerfuffle. That's not it at all. It seems like there was a lot more technically involved with animating it, particularly because of the Ultron character. And also, from what I understand, they had already, like, this much we knew, like, Scarlett Johansson's involvement was pretty much like null because another actor had been cast to voice Black Widow. So that's not it. But it seems like James Spader may have been the deciding factor because his schedule didn't allow him to do the voice for Ultron the way they wanted him to. So all of those things combined.
That's totally feasible because they he's on blacklist.
Yes.
Yeah.
And during the pandemic, to keep the show going, they had a animated episode.
I remember reading about that.
Yeah.
I stopped watching the show a few years back because I just couldn't. After they came out with the Blacklist Redemption, I was like, no, I'm good. Thanks, guys.
My wife loves the show, so we watch it.
Has Tom been off of the show for like years now?
Yeah, he has his own show now.
Yeah, completely different. Yeah, it's like
it's a doctor show. That's
that's
really good.
Oh, that's good. It's just like, it sucks because I like the idea of that character when he was there for a little bit and then disappeared. But when they brought him back, I'm like, don't do that. Why would you do that? That's stupid. But they decided to be stupid, and I just was going to sit there and be part of it. It's
gotten very convoluted, even more so. It's she found her mother, but then it's not her mother, and it's yeah.
Hey, hon, you remember all the fucking shit that made us stop watching The Blacklist on NBC? Yeah. You'll be happy to know that it continues unabated. Yes. You would never guess that show was fucking created by the same dude that did Carnival. Not in a million years. Jesus, Mary, and Joseph. Like,
and the Blacklist, it revealed what it is. This, like, the end of this season, it turns out it's like some bunker in I forgot what country, but they're trying James Spader's character and his daughter. Spoiler, it's not really his daughter.
You're not ruining shit for me, dude. Like,
I watched the show and I'm even confused. But it's
in order for me to have it ruined, Leo, I'd have to give a fuck to start.
The show's so it's a good show. I enjoy it, but it's so confusing at times.
You're in too deep. That's what it is.
Yeah, it is. And I love James Spader. You know, that is just but it's yeah, it turned out to
Let me tell you, Lizzie, I could be your father or not, but maybe, but definitely not. Like, that's every episode.
Yeah.
Christ.
But then she became the James Spader character. She like left the FBI. She was on the run. She had her own network of people.
Oh, I vaguely remember something like that. Yeah.
But and the whole thing is, it turned out to be a whole communications area that it's people collecting information, eliminating it, and then giving it to James Spader's character. Like, you know.
So Apple?
Pretty much, yeah. Yeah, it's Apple News, but for the Spy Network, you know?
Oh no, Red's in charge of Google? What the fuck? Was this the blacklist the whole time?
Yeah, so where was I going with that? Yeah, the animated episode. He must have been recording it on a phone or on his home in his home, but it just sounded terrible.
Yeah.
So I could see if like, you know, yeah, I could see them having issues with it during the pandemic.
Yeah, well, I mean, I will say with what they did for the Blacklist animated episode because of the pandemic, I read about it. Like I said, I was intrigued by the concept.
Yeah.
They did that so fast. I mean, they moved and just were like, quick, fast, and in a hurry. We want to get this episode finished, and so everyone just scrambled.
Yep.
But I also read other places, not regarding the Blacklist, but in regards to other projects like television shows and such, trying to finish up. They actually did a lot of those like shooting at home things and what have you. They actually sent out like the exact equipment that every person would need with precise instructions on how to set it all up. That's what like a lot of TV productions and stuff were doing. Yeah. I actually think that there were some cues taken from what NBC did with the Blacklist, because nobody else moved as quickly as they did to get something finished. People waited months to finally do like a Zoom episode, and you know, fucking Daniel Knopf and the gang were like, "Oh, it's just animated, I guess." Works for me, man.
Tom Moore says, if there's going to be any more Marvel animated films, I hope they use that style animation. It would. I hope so as well.
It looks to be the case so far.
Yeah. I also read that these are supposed to be canon within the multiverse. I know. Anything can be canon now.
Like I'm fucking canon.
Yeah.
Like, guys, guess what? I'm the MCU's new Wolverine. Get over it. Yeah. Look, it's like an American Bob Hoskins. You finally get your wish, guys. The American chubby version of the dude from Who Framed Roger Rabbit is going to be the best there is at what he does, and what he does isn't very nice. I'm Fat Wolverine with a British accent. All right. I didn't know you were like a footballer. Fuck you! Nah, I'm just kidding. Remember that Pride of the X-Men when Wolverine was Australian? No?
No.
You never saw the cartoon? The pilot, Pride of the X-Men?
No.
Oh my fucking God, dude.
Is that on Disney Plus?
Probably not.
Okay.
I mean, it was like, I had it on tape. Like, I bought it at like Kmart. Bradley's. There's an old fucking Bradley's on VHS. It was just like a 22-minute episode that was never. It was a pilot, and they never picked it up. They have a whole big theme song, X-Men saving the day, and starts off with the, hey there, true believer. We follow our villain Magneto. Like, he's really pissed. He's in the back of a truck. Excelsior! But yeah, I mean, you know the arcade game?
Yeah,
the big 4-person like huge mirror screen.
Oh, the awesome one, yeah.
Yeah, the designs for that video game are the character designs for Pride of the X-Men.
Oh wow! Oh, that's cool.
I know some video game stuff. I like them apples. Yeah, dude, Leo, it's got to be on YouTube. It's Pride of the X-Men, but like Kitty Pride, so PRYDE.
Okay, I'll take note of it.
Yeah, you'll fucking laugh so hard you can plots, dude. Like, I mean, there's some good stuff, but at the same time, like, you're like, so Australian Wolverine. I will say they go earth tones Wolverine with his costume though, which is pretty cool. Like brown and tan. I always dug the John Byrne design.
Yeah.
Colossus is very Russian. Basically, they were trying to go for like the whole multinational thing. Like, what markets are we most popular in? All right, Wolverine's Australian now because they love X-Men down under. Like, I mean, okay, that doesn't sound right to me. And then fucking cut, fucking 15 years later when the goddamn movie comes out and there's Hugh Jackman playing Wolverine, like, all right, point to you, I suppose.
He's Australian?
You are fucking with me right now.
Are you serious?
He is not serious.
Yeah.
Hugh Jackman's Australian? Crikey.
John
I didn't
White
see
says,
this coming at all.
John White says, what's up, fellas? What's up?
Hey, John. Sad yaps.
Also, earlier we had Twisted Roots, which is Michigan's Misfits. They're new to the network. Absolutely love what they're doing. They do a lot of educational videos for growing certain things. So,
All right. There was more to that sentence. I was like, for growing. You get a lot of fucking kids rolling through there?
so if
like,
you're,
I get it. Maybe not kids, but definitely a lot of people rolling through.
if you're
that means two things.
If you're in a state that is legal and you need some assistance in growing some medicinal herb, definitely check them out.
Like marijuana?
Yeah.
Oh, that's much clearer. I get it now. Because I'm not smart.
Okay, I know we have another show we're gonna do. John's asking, what do you guys think of the new Venom?
Venom, Let There Be Carnage. I think it'll be a fucking miracle if it's released in the fall. That's what I think. I think Sony is fucking sitting on their hands right now, rocking back and forth, going, I don't know what we're gonna do, guys. I don't know. So if Disney releases some stuff, do we still have to release? Do we have to release it if they release it? Oh my god, I don't want to release it. That's what Sony's doing right now. Like, this is gonna be one of the only movies released. It's gonna make money, guys. It's just let us make money. And like, it's hysterical. Like they I don't know if anybody else paid attention to it, but I legitimately laughed out loud. And I was like kind of in public, like with headphones in when I watched the preview, like laughed out loud, like ha! When they get to the end, they're like, this fall. I'm like, oh, you fucking pussies. You won't even pull the trigger. Don't even put a date on there. Catch you later, Sammy. But yeah, I think it will be a miracle if it comes out in the fall. If Marvel pushes No Way Home to like February of next year, which is looking to be more and more likely, then they're going to have no choice but to push their movies of Venom and Morbius and such, because they're trying to get everything to line up as much as possible so they can actually have all of those characters, involved and interact with one another. Marvel or DC, like in life?
Movies, Marvel. Comics, I'm on the fence.
I don't know, man. I grew up a DC kid, but I've always had an affinity for things on both sides. I've never really hated on one, and I've certainly gone back and forth. Like, there have been long stretches of time where I'm like, fuck DC, I'm not reading anything they're putting out. And then I have my fill of Marvel, and I'm like, oh, you know what? And I just realized also, fuck Marvel. Let me check out what DC's doing. And of course, I also just like the medium, so I kind of gravitate to some of the other quote independent publishers like IDW and Image, of course.
Yeah.
But I do find that if you're looking at archetypes more than anything else, then you are likely going to be looking towards DC, where there's a little bit more of a celebration of those archetypes and a more of a deconstruction in a regular setting for those archetypes is what you're going to find in Marvel. It's trickier because they're doing the same thing, but in two different ways. Marvel has fantastical elements in a real world setting, and then you have DC with absolutely fucking made up settings with fantastical or street level shit. So like they're going back and forth, crisscross up and down, and that's part of the reason why the movies and television shows have had a weird time going back and forth too, especially with DC. It's hard to part of it is I think they need to make it grittier in their eyes to make it more realistic, because they're trying to drive home that this is like a real place, to reduce the ridiculousness of calling a city Metropolis or Gotham, so that's why you have to make your Superman a little more dour, your Batman use rubber bullets, whereas Captain America can fucking straight up wear red, white, and bright ass blue, but it's okay because he's from Brooklyn. Hey, I'm a kid from Brooklyn. I can do this all day. Yeah, we fucking get it, Steve. But I'm just saying, like, the way that they're set, it allows for different things to play out, and DC being older, that makes it harder, because everything else looked at what DC did in the comic book in the comic book world, and that's when they started making changes for Marvel, and that's where we saw the Silver Age start. So it depends on what you're looking for, man. It really does. If you get back into Golden Age on both of them, there's really no difference. Once you hit science in the Silver Age with like the Flash and Fantastic Four, that's where you pick your poison.
For me, I side more with what Brandon said there. It's I grew up, and my favorite character is Batman and Superman. So but I love dorky shit. So as long as the movie's good or the comic's good, I'll check it out. So it's I don't care one way or another. And some of the indie stuff is pretty good as well. And Kaylee White says, I heard marijuana. What's up, y'all? We were talking about Michiganja Misfits, a new show on the network where they do some awesome videos about educating people on how to grow.
That's crazy though. Like, she heard it, but most people smoke it. Sorry, Kayla, I'm an asshole.
Okay.
I get it though. I get it. Smooth. So,
on that note,
yeah, right.
Also, we didn't talk about J.J. Abrams' UFO documentary. If you get a chance, definitely check it out. It's on Showtime. 4 episodes. I don't know if he's going to do any more. I'm almost done with the 4th episode. And she says, stop, tell my secrets, no one knows.
Guys, for a second there, I was marijuana. Me too, man. Me too. Perhaps the real joint that we needed to roll was inside of us all along.
John White says, hey, Leo, does Batman really have superpowers? He's just a regular guy in a costume that can't fly. I agree. Yeah, he doesn't have superpowers. He's just a regular person. I think that's why I really enjoy his character. It's just somebody with determination that, is just really strong and really intelligent, but he has that drive to do so. He just doesn't give up.
He is the pinnacle of human perseverance.
Yeah.
Well said.
Yes.
See, you took what I said and added intelligence to it.
I mean, I had the good fortune of letting you get all that out. I'm like, oh, I know what he means. It's not like a fucking magic trick.
So you're the I won't say it. Never mind.
Okay. Yeah, Batman is awesome, Kayla. I'm glad that you enjoyed that character. Leo also enjoys Batman, and Steve, I think, falls into the category of he tolerates Batman more than he'd like to.
I'm shaking my head, yes, Brandon, while you're saying it.
I figured. I figured as much. Like, I know Steve likes Batman, but Steve falls like right in between the two of us, where I know he and I definitely like could both shake our fists at the sky, like, do we need a 97th Batman movie? Like,
exactly.
And DC and Warner Bros. Says, no, you need a 98th.
John says, power, say it again, yeah, man. Also, one last bit of news, and I know people are making way big of a deal out of it that they shouldn't.
No, really?
Yeah, but in the issue of Batman Urban Legends, it came out that Tim Drake is bi. So people are flipping out. I don't know why.
Breaking news. Tim Drake, the third Robin in the Batman comic books, comes out as bisexual. No one cares.
Exactly. And it seems
And I mean
like,
that in the nicest way. Like, it's good that it in this day and age, like, I can say like no one cares. And what I mean is, and I will explain it just to be absolutely clear, I will elucidate. I mean, it's not a big deal. It's not a big deal. And that's good that it's not a big deal.
Yeah.
It is probably a big deal to some of those guys and gals out there who can identify with that character and coming out, even, it's not like, oh, coming out as bi or whatever. No, you don't reduce it. All right. A member of the LGBTQ plus community, like, it coming out is coming out is coming out. And that's a big deal to them. But what I mean is, like, it's not a big deal. It shouldn't be a big deal, is because why the fuck not? How does it hurt anybody? It certainly doesn't hinder anything. And quite frankly, like, let's have some different types of stories being told. Like, how many times can you tell the same stories over and over again over the decades? I mean, we're talking just Batman and Superman. We're talking 70, 80 years, for crying out loud. So yeah, let's have the kid who, was actually smart enough to figure out that Bruce Wayne was Batman through his own keen detection skills, and have him, like, look inward on himself and be like, hey, you know what? Am I denying myself the chance to be happy with someone just because, like, I'm hung up on, what their gender is? Like, I think I might actually like this guy. I'm going to go talk to him. You know what? That's a hell of a lot braver than a lot of other people out there act most of the time. So, you know what? If we learn anything from any of these characters, whether or not you identify with that particular situation or just generally, like I said before, Batman is the pinnacle of human perseverance. Well, the whole Bat family, every single one of the members of that army, they have all had their stuff that they need to overcome. And that's, from what I gather, a large part of the reason why so many people identify with those stories to begin with. I mean, like we said earlier, like, there are no superpowers involved. They're people, they're humans. They're doing what they can to overcome physical and oftentimes emotional and psychological issues. So doesn't it make sense that we see something like this tackled within the Bat family of all places? I mean, it's not even like Tim isn't even the only member of the LGBTQ plus community. I mean, Kate Kane, Bruce Wayne's cousin, who is Batwoman, she is a lesbian.
Yeah.
That is that a big deal? Does that, like, put a fucking wrinkle in a bunch of people's panties? Because if it does, shut the fuck up. You know what I mean? Like, if you don't like it, just don't say anything. Like, sometimes it's okay to stick with what your mom told you when you were like 5. If you have nothing nice to say, don't say anything at all. But I think it's great. Just more opportunity for wider stories and more affecting stories to be told.
Well, not only that, when I first heard of that, when I read the panel, the first thing I thought is, how awesome is that you're going to have some kids, especially with Free Comic Book Day coming up, reading that may be confused or whatever, and just see themselves in another character. Just broadens the reach. Gets more people involved in characters, like the way Wonder Woman, some little girl can see herself as, Wonder Woman, being like Miles Morales, being represented, you're, somebody you see in the mirror being represented as a superhero.
Yeah, representation does matter. Like, It's really easy for people who have been represented for a very long time to turn around and be kind of like glib or flip about it and say, like, oh, it doesn't really matter that much. It's like, yeah, you're blasé about it. You take it for granted because, like, that's always been the case for you. You've never regularly turned, like, every fucking corner, seen every advertisement on a bus or a television screen, and it screams to people who, like, don't look or sound anything like you. Like, they are not who you are, and it's almost like pointed, you know.
Yeah.
That's fucking terrible, and I think a lot of people don't quite get that. Like, it's hard enough to have sympathy for others. Empathy is a whole other ball game. I mean, that's sympathy plus. So, you might be asking a lot, and quite frankly, I don't think you need to ask those people to really like put themselves in. It really just turns around like, how would you feel? Just how would you feel? Think about it in those terms. That's it. Like, what if this were you? Like, what if you were dealing with an issue like this? What if you turned this thing you like, never had anybody that you could relate to on like a cultural level? Like, you can like the story and the characters and you find people you connect with in it, sure. But I mean, is there anybody that really speaks to who you are? Like, not just who you are, but who you and your family, like people in your sphere are. And, to have more seats at the table for that, I think just helps everybody. The worldly and worldwide experience that everyone brings, it's so much better than some like ubiquitous bland bullshit that we just keep getting mashed through this fucking goddamn pop culture grinder. And it's like, oh cool, the same shit, just slightly different packaging. That's great. It's time for a change, man. Progression in all things. Change is scary, I get it, but it's also usually good. In the long run, that might be when you see it, but starting that resistance, especially for old timers, which there's a fucking lot of them in the geekdom for these comics and what have you. They dig their heels in, and it's all like, I don't want it to change. It should always be the same. Yeah, I get it, but like eventually you're gonna fucking die, and we're gonna change it anyway. So just let us do it now.
Yeah.
Kaylee says Harley Quinn is bi too. Yeah, there was a big uproar when they did that in the Harley Quinn cartoon. Is it bad that I kind of see myself in feel I'm being represented with Howard the Duck?
No.
What? Hold on. What? Say that again about Howard the Duck?
I'm joking.
I missed it. I just what?
I was just saying, is it bad that I feel represented by Howard the Duck?
I mean, sounds foul to me.
Yeah.
He's a duck. Get it?
John says, hey, what was the topic for tonight to begin with? Yeah, we've covered just about everything.
We call this scattershot dorkening. Like, just throw a fucking dart at a topic. We'll go on a tangent for an hour and a half.
Well, that's what makes great conversation. But we started with Batman 89, which is the comic book. Yeah, that's out on shelves now. So support your local comic book show, minus Sarge's Comics, which absolutely love those guys here in the Connecticut area. We also talked about Suicide Squad. Let's see, what else? J.J. Abrams, obviously. We talked about the UFO documentary that he did. What else?
For 5 seconds, but yeah.
Yeah. We talked about a lot of stuff.
Yeah.
Just hit rewind,
just hit the rewatch button or listen to the audio later whenever Ludo puts it up.
I tweaked out on some release the air cut stuff, so have fun with that.
Yeah. John says, hey, do his voice.
Whose voice?
Probably Howard the Duck.
Jesus Christ, I can't even remember what he sounded like.
Yeah, he sounded like a gumshoe.
Gumshoe? What, you mean like this? Yeah, you're a good kid, real good. But as long as I'm around, you'll always be second best. See? Man, he did not sound like that. He most certainly did not. Although that is recent. I just recently read Detective Comics number 27, the first appearance of Batman. And I actually started reading it out loud to my wife, which she told me to shut the fuck up and leave the room.
We're gonna have to get that on audio. Just
it was, dude. I could not help it. Like, I don't know if anybody here has ever seen Parks and Recreation, but Dan Castellaneta, who does numerous voices for The Simpsons,
Yeah.
He shows up as a character on Parks and Rec for this like NPR type radio station, public radio, playing Derry Merbles. And in one sequence on the show, he actually describes Batman like on the show because they said like, oh, we're going to throw up the bat signal. He's like, for all of our listeners, the Batman is a children's character who's very strong and fights crime nocturnally. Like, I could not fucking help but read the portions off panel of every panel in that comic, like Derry Merbles.
Oh no!
Every description. Meanwhile, they pulled up to the house and Batman sped inside. Oh, dude, it's fucking. Oh my god, I love old comics just for that alone. Like everything sounds like it should be, just Ness and his men coming on like gangbusters.
Kayla says I can do the Pikachu voice, and John says, Kayla, you're high.
You're high. Shut the fuck up.
Yeah, I used to be able to do the Pikachu voice. I don't know if I can still do it.
And then your balls dropped.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And then I hit puberty.
Yeah.
Pikachu. I can't do it.
Yeah.
Nope, can't do it. It's too late in the day for me, man.
Yeah.
My voice starts up here early in the day, and then as I get closer and closer to 10 p.m., it just starts to drop, and the energy level is way down here.
Yeah.
Oh, Kayla, can you tell us where they are? I would also like to meet cool people.
Well, on that note, we're gonna wrap things up because we have another show to record, which is crazy. Yeah, Steve is like, what the fuck is going on?
What do you mean? I've been
Steve's dialed in, man. You fucking keep your eye on that kid. He's focused like a motherfucking laser.
Kayla says you guys are cool. Thank you, Kayla.
Gosh, you're a nice lady.
Yeah. So I want to thank everybody for watching this fine evening. And definitely check the show notes up above or down below, depending on where you're watching or listening to us. Because we also have this as a podcast as well. And, for me, just Google Leopold. You'll find a bunch of stuff. Could be true, could be not. I'm not going to say which is which. But I run a little thing called the Dorkening Podcast Network, which we have just about 40 shows on the network. And head on over to thedorkening.com, and you can find all the shows there. And Steven, where do you like people interacting with you?
Super Retro Throwback Reviews on Facebook, Twitter, and Instagram. You can follow our two shows, Super Retro Throwback Reviews, the Audio Files, and CSI the Vegas Files, both on the Dorkening Podcast Network. And you can, I'm here every Wednesday, and check us out on Patreon. Patreon.com/Super Retro Podcast. And by next week, hopefully Leo can put that in the show notes going forward. Other than that, I'm here every Wednesday, like I said.
Sounds good. Powerful, Brandon.
Hey everyone, you can join me please at the Powers Combined Facebook group. It's just a geek group for all kinds of fandoms. Just have a good time, trade info, memes, and laughs. Number one rule is don't be a jerk. You break that, you will get booted. Other than that, you can follow me on Twitter at Brandon's Powers and on Instagram at This Brandon Has Powers. I'm here every Wednesday on the Dorkening Network, and I am also doing a podcast called Comics Paradox that we will be doing every couple of weeks coming up. It's a lot of fun, covers the ideas of what if comics and Elseworlds, all those alternate realities stories that apparently a lot of people are getting very interested in as of right about now. So it looks like we might have our finger on the pulse. So we'll have that out to you guys shortly.
Cool beans, yeah, and we're doing a bunch of comic shows. I know Justin he's starting. He wants to do the Ghostbusters one.
Yes.
And we're doing the Dork Night, a Batman related one, and maybe we'll come up with some other stuff. But anyway, with that, later. It's too late in the day. Bye.
Bye, everyone.